Welcome to Backpacktrack, the solo travel podcast for people who think one backpack is a lifestyle. Today's question is a simple question, but it's a question, and I think this thought will cross everyone's mind sooner or later, especially when they do long-term travels. And the question here is it actually okay to have big gaps in your CV because of traveling? And I think nowadays, now that we're living this modern lifestyle and we are getting more to work-life balance and stuff like this, the short answer is probably yes, it's totally fine to have one gap. You can talk about your self-development, your personal growth, whatever you experienced while traveling, and the recruiters will love it. 100% sure. But what happens if it's not just one? If it's more than one big gap, is it still good, or is it a little bit more tricky then? And for me, for example, I chose, instead of stability, a fixed income, routine, and all this stuff, I chose to travel. And the first time I chose to travel was actually no big deal. No one really cared about it because I graduated from university, and for a lot of people who are graduating, it doesn't matter which kind of school, they usually take a little bit of time off to travel, to see the world, to experience stuff. And that's totally fine. And then, usually when they're coming back, they start to live their real life. And I put the real life in these because I feel like whoever defined that working full-time and then just having routines and stability is the only right path to choose. Just a question here on the side note. I don't know. And I don't know. My situation changed because after this 1 year of working, I felt like I miss traveling so much. I don't want to be here stuck in my routines. I want to have movement. So I decided, hey, I'm going to go to Southeast Asia. So I traveled there, and after a while I decided, but I said, I want to learn Japanese. And here I am, I'm still in Japan, still in Tokyo, trying to learn the language. And I did this just because out of fun. So it's not like I want to study Japanese for my CV, that it looks better. No, I just did it because I feel like, let's do something for my brain, because the brain rot is real. So, another gap. Let's say it like that. And what I realized, especially now that I live here in Japan, and I'm currently searching for some jobs, I realized a straight and flawless pattern, especially within your CV, matters. I realized that really quickly because, I got a lot of declines, and I think it's due to my CV because it's anything but a straight line. And let me be honest here with you. I was never really afraid of traveling alone. Not at all. It was, in my mind, of course, there will be some difficulties, but it's probably doable. But the thing which was always stuck in my head was actually, will this affect my future? Like my CV, because having a big gap, it's probably not good, and you should work on your career and all these things. And I was just afraid of ruining maybe my future. And this is actually very, very ironic because ever since I started traveling and living in different countries, experience different things, do volunteering, all this stuff, I've never been happier. Never ever have I been happier than right now, like in this whole travel area mindset. But even though I'm super, super happy, the anxiety is still there. Because I still think, what if one day I will not get a job because of my big gaps in the CV? And should I have focused more on my CV? Will I regret that? And I personally think it's really strange. It's strange because we were taught, actually, from the beginning, when we were kids, our whole society is based on it, that we have to build a career, that we need to be successful, that we need to make a lot of money, and then, only then, we will have a good life. When we have everything, stability, I don't know. But somehow, somewhere along the way, I think a lot of people forget that you actually also need to live life. And for me, living life does not mean, I have only like free time on the weekends and on my vacation days. No, for me, it's also the thing that I can choose. Yeah, I wanted to take a year off for traveling, and then I come back and do another job and get money again. And I say that especially in terms of we're all getting older, right? And right now, when you're in your 20s or in your 30s, your health is perfectly fine, usually. So we're young, and I'm not talking about like the mindset here. Your mindset can always stay young, right? But your body will change. And you cannot change that fact. And I think when you're young, you can do all this fancy shit, going on hikes and stuff. And of course you can do it when you're older too, but it will get harder and harder to keep up with the same level. And I think, especially in Europe, I don't want to talk about any other continents or like any other continents here or any other countries because I don't know. I'm just talking about the Europe situation. But here, it often feels like the only thing that really matters is what is written on your fucking CV. So, what positions you had, what workshops you attend on, like how many languages you can speak, and yeah, maybe what great leadership positions you had. And I think it's so exhausting. It's a performance-based society. And not gonna lie, I think the worst part of all of this is that it's so deeply ingrained in us that we kind of constantly question ourselves and we compare each other like, hey, am I good enough? Or is it really the right thing? And for me, I always see it when I'm on LinkedIn or if I just meet people from my studies or, yeah, from school times. And when you look at their CV on paper, you'd be like, wow, crazy. They're so cool. They made so many things. And then I have like this feeling rising up of anxiety, like, did I do something wrong? Should I focus more? Should I have focused more on my career? Should I have like done my master's degree or even my PhD or a doctor? Should I have done something more? And I feel like maybe all this traveling hurted my future and I will have troubles to find my dream job because I lack of experience, because usually a lot of people have like 5 years plus experience in one field and I have only 1 year. And 1 year of full-time work. And then I question myself like, hey, should I stop now? Should I maybe just go home and start building something. But then I remind myself, there's something what people often forget. There are things you can only learn when you're abroad, when you're traveling. And I think the main aspects are actually that you learn independence. That's really nice. But another thing is, like, you learn perspective, you learn empathy, and you realize, hey, we're actually all humans. We just have the privilege that we were born into a, I would say now, like, just rich and developed country, so that we can actively choose what we want to do in life. And you also learn how small your own bubble really was. I mean, we all think, oh yeah, I'm open-minded, and I thought that too. But then when I started traveling, I realized that I had only seen one side of the medal, that I was open-minded, but yeah, my perspective was not wide enough because I only came from my perspective of me being only in Germany. And I think a lot of people don't take action and don't go on travels because they think, yeah, it will not be good on their CV. But I also think a lot of people are just scared because uncertainty is scary and you don't know how it will turn out. So it's better to stay in one place, build a career, build something big so that you can show off with this. I just say it like this. But honestly, who says that staying in one place and optimizing your CV and following the perfect path is actually stable? I mean, you can get fired any time and no one will be sad about you. Like, you're just a number. You're replaceable. We're all replaceable when it comes to work. And for me, I always feel like a straight CV looks safe. But safety is not the same as happiness. And let me say this here clearly. I have now the mindset, if my CV bothers you that I have too many gaps, I'm probably not the right fit for you anyways. Because on travels, you also do a lot of work, but you usually don't list it on your CV, but you can talk about it. And in the end, you have to decide what matters more to you. But for me, I'm so glad that I feel like the CV should not be your main focus for doing stuff. I mean, I know a lot of people who do really workshops or learn languages just for their CV. And I feel like, where's the point if you don't enjoy it? Like, why? Why even bothering? And for me, I also know that I will not regret things that I have done. It's more like the things I haven't done because I was too scared or whatever. And for me, a perfect CV does not guarantee a fulfilled life. But if you live your life fully and you enjoy it, you will always kind of find a way that it work out and you will get a job or you get an income. I don't know. So for the end, I actually have one question for you. Would you rather explain a CV gap or more gaps to a recruiter, or would you rather explain it to yourself why you never tried to travel, to risk something? I mean, the choice is yours, but I would just say there will be a way. Don't worry too much about your CV and continue traveling and explore the world.